Thank you. Hey everyone, it's Will, it's Wes. We are live at Doomsday Brewing Company in Washougal. I believe we're at what, 461?
Usually have that written down.
Yeah, we would have that written down. I'll pull it up here real quick. But we're at Doomsday downtown, or kind of on C Street. I think it's 461 C Street in Washougal, just west of the Highway 14 exit to Camas. So, or excuse me, east. I would need to know which direction is which. We're on a little test right now to see how the audio sounds. My buddy's inside, seeing if it's good or not. If you give it, Kurt, how we doing, Kurt? Good? Cool. So it sounds like we're good to go. Is that, sir, is that your pizza?
That's your pizza.
They brought it out to us.
No.
I guess.
I didn't order a
Okay.
pizza. If it is, I'm surprised.
Anyway, so we have a mystery pizza right now that we're trying to figure out who the owner is. And my wife is now...
she's now a waitress.
Yeah, she's... I think, can you get some ketchup for us? Anyway, so we're going to get started in just a second. We got some folks that have joined us, but they are inside the seat right now because I think we're probably in the, what do you think? 90 range?
93.
93?
I'll call 93.
Oh,
yeah.
I think we need to find out. Hey, Siri.
Maybe not in the shade, but...
What's the temperature? We're asking Siri what the temperature is. Oh boy, I shouldn't have said all that other stuff. She said that doesn't sound good when I said that. What's the temperature? Here we go. 93. Did you cheat?
No, I didn't, man.
High five to that.
Can you hear it, Kurt?
Is it coming through, Kurt?
You can hear it, but you can hear you guys
Just
yeah,
good?
It is what it
Okay,
is.
sweet. Well, we'll...
some white noise.
Right? Yeah, some white noise with our new white t-shirts.
Yeah.
We've got the swag going today. Pretty excited about that. We've already done the sound checks. Wes has already got a beer down the hatch.
That's gone.
You ready for another one?
No, I'm good.
You sure?
I'm good.
We've got my wonderful wife is over here. She is off camera. She is enjoying one of Doomsday's wonderful salads. I think we've got some, what do we got? We got some potato skins. I'm enjoying a couple of ginger ales. Got one on deck. Evidently, my wife, the server, didn't get me a glass of ice, though. I have
It's chill.
subtract that from our tip, right? I guess I should bring up the feed, too, so I can see what's going on. So as you guys are watching, we can interact with everyone. Hold on just 1 second as we do that, so we can say hi. Are you under TCP or are you under...
I'm on the correct one this time, yeah.
Oh, thank you for that.
Yeah. Who'da thunk?
Who'da thunk it? Did you hook up to their Wi-Fi?
No, I'm just going LTE.
Okay.
I got unlimited, so no big deal.
Get unlimited. I just don't want it to crash. Oh, there it is. Hey, there we are. Hey, we're live.
Fancy.
We got 3 people watching, including me. So, Kurt, Cody, thanks for watching. It's good, Cody. We haven't seen you guys in a while. Hope everything's well. Okay. Are we about ready to get this party started?
We are.
So, the plan stand. I'm going to kill my own volume here. Okie dokie. Artichoke. There we go. Okay. Here we go. You ready?
Yep.
Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening. This is Kinetic Chaos Podcast number 34. I am your host, Will, joined as always by my good friend, Wes.
Howdy.
How we doing tonight?
Fantastic. Enjoying the fresh air.
We just did the open on Facebook Live, and we're going to do the open for you guys on the old podcast here. We are joining you not from the secret underground bunker tonight. We are joining you from Doomsday Brewing Company, and evidently I'm still getting feedback, and I can't operate my own stuff. Or am I hearing that from somewhere else? Am I hearing it from you? Okay. Sorry about that. Anyway, we are joining you from Doomsday Brewing Company in Washougal, Washington, down on C Street, just east of the Highway 14 exit to Camas. If you guys want to join us, we'll be down here for probably the next hour or so for those that are watching us live. For those of you that are listening, we have a wonderful show for you this wonderful day. It's going to be Friday when you guys hear this, so it is 93 degrees.
Yeah.
Wes just hit the nail on the head.
Jackpot.
I didn't bet him anything, luckily, but I asked him what the temperature was, and he nailed it. 93 degrees as we broadcast. So I haven't been behind the mic in almost 2 weeks. Actually, 2 weeks on the button, I believe. And that is, I want to say why, because I'm going to dedicate this broadcast to my wonderful mother-in-law. She passed away last week. She was an absolutely wonderful person. We love her to death, and almost bring a little tear to my eye here. But Sue, this one's for you. We love you so much, and we just love you, and we're so happy that you're with God and you're in heaven, and everything is wonderful again. So, just want to dedicate the broadcast to you, Sue. Let's get into something good. What good happened to you?
I'm going to go with the new merch that we're wearing here.
You stole mine.
Oh, it's okay. We can have samesies. We're like the Bobsy twins.
Don't. No samesies. Because I told my wife, she tries to dress the same as me.
Uh-oh.
Oh, hell no, that is not happening. So, yeah, I'm going to go the same thing. Go ahead, finish it up.
I'm saying we got our first line of swag, as the children like to say.
Yeah, the kids these days are calling it the swag. They are, for those that are listening, we've got the KCP emblem on the front with our fun throwing star, and then on the back just a big, basically our banner blown up and on our back with our URL and stuff like that. We're gonna have more of these. We're gonna be handing them out at Camas Days in the parade, which less than 48 hours.
That's right.
You ready?
Oh man, I'm fired up for that.
We are all over the place.
Yes.
We are straight fire, Wes.
Absolutely.
Besides your noggin, we're fire. Well, let's get right into a good news story, because I'm actually a little bit rusty here, so bear with me a little bit. I promise I'll do my best to not be so rusty. But yeah, what's a good news story? We got a 20-year-old that walked to a job for 7 hours. It took him 7 hours to get there.
Yeah, so what this was is he had a car, and the night before his new job started, the car broke down.
Really?
So he was supposed to start the new job the next day, and all of a sudden had no transportation. So he took it upon himself. He did the calculations. He lives 20 miles away from his job. Wow. He figured it would take him about 7 hours to walk there. So he woke up at midnight. He had to be at the job at 7 a.m.
Really?
He went to bed early, got up at midnight, and started walking.
That is epic.
He made it like halfway there, so it was like 3 in the morning, and he decided to take a break at a gas station and just catch his breath. And a cop rolls up and asked him, it's kind of weird seeing a guy walking around at 3 a.m. Asked him if he was doing okay, and so he explained the situation. And the cop's like, "Let me take you to breakfast." So he grabbed this kid, went in the cop car to some breakfast joint, bought the kid breakfast, and then continued and drove him to his job.
That is awesome.
And they got there, and then the CEO of the company, it was a moving company.
Really?
Is what,
ironically enough,
is what this kid's job was, where he got the job. So the CEO of the moving company, then the cop told him what was going on, and took the keys out of his pocket and said, "Here, take my car."
No way.
The CEO gave the kid his SUV.
Wow.
He's like, "You need it more than I do." So that was really cool.
That is really cool. Hopefully the kid can, hopefully it's not like some, Maserati or something like that, and he can't afford the insurance on it.
Yeah.
Well, this is kind of like the story we had. Remember the guy that was a few months ago that was walking to work? What was his deal? Remember we had it probably 2 months ago,
vaguely
something
familiar.
like that. And his car either broke down or crashed or something like that. And I don't know what it would be. They gave him a car. Remember, there was a big fundraiser.
Oh yes,
and they gave him a car.
That's right.
So these things are awesome. We thank that the CEO there, and we don't have his name, but
didn't have the name in the article.
Those are the good news stories that we want to hear. Hey, my mom's watching. Hi, Mom. Yeah. Hi, Heather. Kim's watching too. That's even better, because she's getting the dual. Oh, and also before I forget everything, I want to say thank you to your wife Tia for sitting in last week for me. Tia, thank you so much for sitting in with Wes, having a little fun at my expense with the two hands. Always appreciate that. It is always a lot of fun. You may hear, as we are broadcasting from Doomsday, there is a train track right behind us. Actually, Wes and I are looking at it. So you may intermittently hear a train whistle. Toot, toot.
Yeah, something comes rolling through here. It's gonna be loud.
that will be fun. So I'm anticipating an Amtrak.
I was gonna say those can cook through here.
Oh wait,
good.
No, that was probably him. I just heard the
the dinger.
So.
Yeah.
Well, from there, let's. That is good news. All good news. That's great stuff. But this one, not so good. We got a shooting up in Toronto.
Yeah, so jumping into the hot sheet number 1 here, this is a gunman in Toronto killed 2 people and injured 13. And right after this happened, his family came out and said he had a long history of mental illness, bipolar disorder, the whole bit like that. However, there are unconfirmed reports that they have found some stuff in his social media that links him to the whole pledging allegiance to ISIS kind of deal.
Oh.
So they're kind of looking at that angle now, so everything's still kind of unconfirmed at this point. But either way you slice it, it's a sad deal. It was like in a popular area of Toronto, like a nightclub district, so obviously that's where a shooter's going to choose, is in a target-rich environment like that. So he just opened fire in a big nightclub scene.
Any idea how he got the gun?
No, that was not reported on.
Ironic that,
yeah.
Not ironic, but usually that's one of the first things we hear is...
And then the other thing too, in Toronto, they have insanely strict gun control
I know,
laws.
all of Canada.
Right, exactly, and obviously it didn't do much here.
No.
So...
Well, I mean, I think have I ever told the story about us going into Canada a couple of years ago?
Yeah, that could be the podcast.
That was, I mean, gives you, I mean, just a small sample size or an example of, you know, just how hard they are. I mean, that guy wanted to, if I wouldn't have had damn near, you know, Cousin Eddie's tenement on wheels in the back of my truck, he would have probably ripped the whole thing out. I mean, it was absolutely crazy. And so, you know, they do have insanely strict gun laws, but again, it goes to show you that when the bad guys want to do bad things, they're going to do it.
Find a way.
Absolutely.
Yep.
So, as we continue on with, you know, police and things like that, the head of the Portland Police Union has decided that the city of Portland has turned into a cesspool.
Dude stole my line.
Right?
I call it a cesspool all the time, and the head of the police union stole my line. So yeah, this is the head of the Portland Police Union said that the mayor has let the city turn into a cesspool, that he's not doing a good job with the homeless. The homeless are running rampant. All the aggressive panhandling.
Aggressive is an understatement.
That kind of stuff, and just all the tent cities and encampments all over the place. And it's just turned into a nightmare. So
and it's so much more than a nightmare. It's just it's one of those things where it has proliferated I would say the last 5 years.
Yeah.
I think that in the last 5 years, because I mean I've lived in this area damn near my whole life, save for 4 years living in Alaska. I've lived in, and you know, I lived in Corvallis, but I lived in Beaverton. I didn't see that, and it wasn't that I wasn't looking. I mean, these things are prevalent. You can't miss these tent cities now.
Exactly.
You're driving down 205 South, and you look on the west side, it's just lined up, and they're all over the place. But when we talk about these things, like we have in Seattle ad nauseum, you know, we talk about how they constantly want to just throw more money at it rather than throw solutions at it.
Yeah.
Because money doesn't equal a solution. Am I right?
Yeah, and then the most recent issue was, of course, the whole Occupy ICE thing that they had going downtown, where they just had a big encampment and tried to block off the ICE building down there. And they finally cleared out of the encampment. They finally cleared out, the police cleared out the campers. And they left just all sorts of garbage. There's pictures online. It's just crazy about how much debris they left behind there, and it's just
it is scary. I mean, I think I've also told the story of us driving through Fresno in a U-Haul van, and when you go through these areas, I mean, we have one in downtown Vancouver. I don't know if you've seen it, but I was down at the train station here a couple weeks ago. A family friend came down from Canada. And so I went down to the train station to pick her up, or actually when I dropped her off. So I kind of got turned a little bit. I went down the road that I did not anticipate going down. And so when I went down there, all of a sudden, and this is only a few blocks down from where the police are, and I was taken aback by how many homeless folks were there, and it was almost seemed kind of lawless. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
They were just all milling around. Thank you very much. And so I hadn't seen that before. I was kind of surprised by it, and I was very surprised by the proximity to the police and things like that.
And the other thing is that the head of the police union, this is Daryl Turner, he said that, and it's true. And you hear that from business owners down there too. It's costing business owners. People don't want to go down there anymore and patronize the locations. There's actually there was a business right across the street from this ICE building where all these people were camped out, and they said it was a restaurant. And they said, we're done. We're closing up shop. We got all these people loitering, hanging out here. Nobody wants to come here because they're afraid of all these yahoos that are hanging out. And so we can't operate a business like this, and we're done. And I've read several stories from around the city in Portland where there's small mom and pop businesses that either have to come into work every morning and there's homeless people sleeping in the doorway of their business. They've got to kick them out, and then they've got to clean up all the debris they leave behind before they can open their shop up. And it becomes the cost of doing business is just not worth it.
Well, and then we also get into the same issues that we dealt with in Philadelphia, with people going into restaurants and not being patrons, anything like that. So, it's one of those, again, and we could go on, and we'll get past this here and move on to the next one. And it's not something that's ever going to go away.
Right.
It's just another example of what we need to do, which is to sit down and actually have meaningful discussions about this that don't revolve around money. Yeah, money is a tool to help this,
right.
But there are so many better ways, I think, that we can approach this to help these folks, truly help them, the ones that want to be helped, because as we've always said, there's quite a few of them that don't.
Right.
They really like the setup that they have. So as we move on to number 3 here, we've got a wildfire in a Greek resort town in Greece.
Yes.
That would be Greek, right?
Just outside
It's
Athens.
like you're speaking Greek.
So this is just outside Athens. It is a resort town, a lot of affluent population there.
Affluent?
Yeah. And so it started out as this is kind of a bad story that turned worse, in that it started out as 2 small wildfires, which then grew into, they're thinking, as many as 15. And the reason it grew is that they're not sure about the first 2, but they're pretty sure all the subsequent fires were intentionally set by looters to distract, because they're all these $1 million houses. So all these people went out and set wildfires to draw the attention of the authorities out to the fires, and then they started looting all the neighborhoods.
Yeah.
And so, it's just
that's
nuts.
an age-old tactic.
Yeah. And so,
anything like that.
but the huge thing, though, all these wildfires ended up basically converging and making one big wildfire. And now we're talking the death tolls of 79 people have been killed by this wildfire. So this is
somebody's going to be in big trouble.
Major stuff, yeah. And so, and that was as of last night. The death toll keeps climbing every day because we're still, combing through the area and finding people. So
no, they're not continuing to start fires, though, are they?
No, I think that part's under control. I think but the actual fire itself is not contained yet. They're still battling that, but there's no new fires, so to speak. But I just read that fact that they're pretty sure that the looters started all these additional fires to try to draw attention away, so they could burglarize all the houses.
I mean, I think ridiculous that they used that tactic in one of Batman's or something like that. I mean, really, it is an age-old thing. It's just like folks that have their houses broken into, and then they replace all their stuff, and what happens? 2 months later, they get broken into again. Jackson, is that Jackson? Jackson, what are you doing? Get back here. Kirk, your son. He's a monkey. He's climbing all over the place. Anyway, no, it happens, like I said, it happened to my mother-in-law. Her house was broken into. She replaced a lot of stuff. Several months later, bang, they're back in. And then guess what? She calls the insurance company, and they start insinuating that she broke into her own house.
Doing it on purpose.
Yeah. They also tried to blame it on her oldest son, Brandon. Oh, well, what was he doing? Well, it's like, really? Wow. Get over yourself. So, that's no good. Do we have anything that's going to be kind of fun here?
The next one could be very fun.
Oversupply of meat. We can handle that.
Yes.
You and I single-handedly, or 3.5-handedly, could take that meat and just smoke it for all of the nation, right?
Yeah, because we're talking 2.5 billion pounds of meat that is stockpiled in warehouses across the nation.
Well, it's obviously not for Wendy's because they don't have frozen meat.
That's right. So this is in part due to the tariffs that the other nations have slapped on our stuff, particularly the pork products. And so this has caused a big oversupply now, because now the other countries aren't importing stuff from us as much. So we're just sitting on a ton of meat now. And the good news, if there's any good news to come of this, is they said they believe this will cause us to see prices drop domestically, because we have so much meat that we're sitting on here. They need to drop the prices to clear it out.
Okay, so here we go. Now we always talk about they talk about trickle down economics. Well, this is almost reverse in my opinion, because Usually it's when the grain prices, feed prices go up, that forces the price of the meat to go up. Well, now we have too much meat. So how is that going to impact the price of grain? Is it going to push that down? Because that will then cause a backlog for corn, all of those types of things.
Yeah. And then the bad side of that, it's good for us as the consumer, but the bad side is for the farmers that raise these animals, because now they can't sell their meat to wholesalers and distributors because they're sitting on too much already.
Well, I think, was it China that stopped importing?
China was the big one, yep.
Yeah,
And I think Mexico was number 2. China number 1 and Mexico 2 on pork imports. Yeah. And they're both tariff, though. They've tariffed pork in both those countries. And so now we're sitting on a huge supply.
Wow. Well, we're like I said, we could take some of the meat off their hands. Yep. I don't. How many pounds? 2.5 billion.
2.5 bill.
Oh
yeah.
Man, if
a lot of
it would have been million, I think we probably could have handled a weekend. We could have killed 2.5 billion in a weekend. Billion though, that might be a little tough for us.
Take a while to get through.
Yeah, that would be. We'd need a lot of barbecue sauce for that. But no, that's but we don't like to see that again, it's affected by all of these people that is affecting folks that they barely are living. We talked to Larry a few weeks ago about the soybeans.
Right.
And that's part of this. Whether it's corn, all of those things are greatly impacted by all of these tariffs, and we're going to get into some cool swag here pretty soon regarding the tariffs, but, and not to make light of it, because this is having an impact on people's lives now, and it's only been a month?
Yep.
A month, we're already seeing these things, these negative impacts on them. So that's sad. It really is, in my opinion. If we could just again have a positive discourse and have some discussions with each other, all we're doing is helping the politicians. Well, they're actually hurting themselves ultimately. Right. If we're just raising tariffs, like I'll quit talking about it, but we're just being.
We're going right into the next one, which is also about tariffs.
Farmers hurt by tariffs
and
the government bailouts.
Yeah, so this is all sorts of ridiculous. This goes back into what you just talked about with what Larry talked to us about, guys that he knows back in North Dakota that are soybean farmers, and this is in particular, this article was talking primarily about soybean farmers getting hurt by these tariffs, and now the administration has decided that they're still talking about it. It's not official yet, but they want to give $12 billion in bailouts to the farmers. And
I read that the other day.
It's like throwing good money after bad. If you got rid of the tariffs, you wouldn't need to throw welfare at the farmers.
Exactly. So and from everything that we've always heard from, whether it's the Republicans, whether it's Trump, whatever it is, we're supposed to be less government. Am I right?
Yeah. Supposedly.
And by throwing $12 billion and change or whatever at farmers, again, why not just quit the BS? Let everyone be tax-free, tariff-free, so that we can all enjoy the fruits of our labor, which is keeping the money in our pocket rather than putting it in the government's pocket in the form of a tax.
And he actually had a meeting with the head of the EU today. This isn't in the notes. I just read about it this afternoon. He met with the head of the EU today at the White House, and supposedly they had, some sort of a working agreement to work through some of their stuff and potentially drop some tariffs. So we'll see if that actually comes to fruition or not. But any way you slice it, if you're taxing people on one end and then
refunding them,
backfilling it with handouts on the other end, how does that make any sense?
It doesn't make any sense, and it's costing us money because a bureaucracy costs a ton of money to run. And I guarantee, what do? We doubled the amount of work that those departments have to do because they've got to collect it and then they've got to put it back out.
Yep.
But in the grand scheme of it, though, on the worldwide stage, we look like chicken shit because we come out there, we got our sabers, and we're saber rattling, and we're gonna be hard on all this, we're gonna be hard on all that, and then we're like, well, somebody was complaining, so come on back here, Apple, come on back here, whomever you were speaking about earlier.
Start carving out the niches.
Yeah, exactly. And so all that strength and might that we're supposed to have, and we're supposed to be the biggest and baddest, it makes us look like little pansies, because if we can't stick to our own word, what good is our word?
Right.
We're not tough, and no one's going to take us seriously.
Exactly right.
If they, they see, oh, well, they say what they're that, but they have no intention whatsoever of following through with it. That's BS.
Yep, I agree.
Well, right now I'm going to take right before we get into the flashback.
Got the L in there.
Flashback follow-up. I want to give Doomsday a shout-out here. We've got some pretty cool things. They gave me some notes here on what I want to let you guys know. They've got some new summer beers. They've got a rye pale ale, a solar flare citrus wheat, a triple IPA that's 10%, and also soon to come is a tropical IPA as well. I don't think you're going to be big on that one as we talked about before.
Maybe some coconut in there?
Ooh,
Tropical?
I don't know about that.
Mango?
They've got a brig. They don't have a brig. They will not be throwing you into jail if you come to Doomsday. I promise that. But they do have a new location downtown Vancouver. It's called Doomsday Safe House, and it's in location. Opened up about a month ago, and they actually have a third location that they're in the works on. But the Doomsday Safe House is right down on Main Street. I don't have their. I'll get the address and I'll post it in the show notes with this. But they also have some awesome pizza. Did you have the pizza, honey?
I had a salad and some potato skins.
Salad and potato skins. Did you save any potato skins by chance?
One.
That is baloney.
Good.
How does that work? That's no, I don't like that. So, they're also. It looks like you're going to be able to build your own 4-pack of variety 16-ounce variety cans.
Oh, nice.
So I'm going to put all these in the show notes so you guys will be able to see it. We'll have links to Doomsday. I want to thank them so much for having us. This isn't the podcast or anything, but I just wanted to make sure that we got the info in there for you guys. So you come down here and talk to Eric, Amanda, everyone. They're all so happy and nice to let us be here and take up their patio and whatnot.
Yeah.
So, well, it's time for the flashback follow-up. Looks like North Korea. What are they doing?
Are they reversing course on the reversing course?
They're
kind of
reversing. So is that 360 degrees?
Yeah, we're like 720 at this point. We're almost.
Sorry.
So this was follow-up. Is our last time we talked about them a few podcasts ago was them supposedly dismantling their nuke sites, but then we had the birds overhead. The satellites were detecting that no, it wasn't happening. They were actually building up the nuke sites. And so now the latest
Didn't they
story...
light a M80 to look like they were blowing
Yeah, exactly. We're detonating this nuclear reactor with an M80. Yeah.
Trust us.
Yeah. So now, however, the latest satellite info, they're thinking it looks like they now are dismantling. So in between times when we previously talked that looks like they were building up their nuclear arsenal, there were a lot of high-level meetings with Pompeo, with a lot of their people. So I think they put the screws to them and said, we're wise to what you're doing, and if you don't knock it off, there's going to be some issues. So it looks like maybe they took that warning to heart and now are dismantling. But again, this bears watching because it's hard to trust these people.
Well, yeah, and that's, for as good as all our technology is and our planes and all of those types of things, it's still, we need to get some boots on the ground. We need to get some people in there to start actually confirming that these things are happening.
Yeah.
And so do we want to lay some bets on that? We haven't had a good North Korea bet in a while.
That's right.
What do you think the odds? Let's come up with a time frame for it. Within a year?
Yeah, I'd say a year. I
1
think
year is good.
It's fair.
I think. What are the odds that we have a full dismantling of a nuclear site within 1 year? And mark this down, everyone, in your books.
I don't know, man.
Or do we have to say full dismantling, or should we say non-operational?
Verifiable proof.
Yes, verifiable proof that they are no
I'd say
longer...
there's good odds of that maybe happening, but in terms of fully abolishing a nuke site, I don't know if that's going to happen in a year.
I think this is going to be the biggest problem that they have. It's firing Homer Simpson, because I'm convinced that's who's running the whole thing.
Yeah.
It's Homer back there just pushing buttons. That's why the thing probably blew up. He had a few too many pops that the Mo served him. He got to pushing buttons. It's all over.
Yep.
That's what happened. No, I think that 25% chance is what my guess is.
Yeah,
that there will be a proof that they have taken a full site offline. Is that a good way to say it?
There you go.
You think that? You good with 25%?
Yeah, 25. I think that's fair.
Honey, what do you think? Let's get your... I
She
just
doesn't
wanted
want.
to catch
She
her
doesn't
up.
want a part of this action.
No, she gave me the look like, what are you talking about? No, well, and we hope, against all hope, that we're wrong and
Right.
that it's within 6 months and it was 100% and all of, how many nuke sites do we know?
I don't know. I don't know what the total amount of
I
sites
don't
are.
either.
Sure.
I haven't really ever checked into that, to be completely honest with you. So that's well, we'll keep an eye on that. But we're going to cruise back into the tariff talk a little bit more. As we've got steel tariffs are killing Whirlpool, and it's going to be more than just them.
Yeah, and we talked about this originally off the get-go. They talked about the auto manufacturers and appliance manufacturers being potentially hardest hit, and it has come home to roost with Whirlpool now. They announced that they are going to miss their earnings target this next quarter because of these steel tariffs in place, and the CEO came out and said that due to these new tariffs, that it's in raw material cost, it's going to cost them an extra $350 million a year in raw materials because of these tariffs.
That's just raw materials.
Yeah.
We're not looking at everything else. We're not looking at the increased cost of labor, and that may not be directly impacted by tariffs, but if a company isn't making as much money because of the tariffs, they're not going to be able to pay their employees.
Right.
And they're going to have less employees, so their efficiency drops. All of these things that we don't really think about, that the impacts that they have, and the tentacles of the tariff tentacles. We got to work with
Yeah.
that. But how they go out and they touch so many places that we would never think. And again, we'll quit bashing on that so much, but that's and if it's 350 million this year, and let's say that we keep them, my guess is 400 million next year.
I don't see why
It's
the cost
not-
wouldn't escalate.
Yeah, they're not going to go down. We don't see prices go down, so that's probably not going to happen. This is probably your and I's favorite topic so far, as we talk about things being impacted by tariffs. This isn't tariffs. This is just dumbasses putting their noses where they shouldn't be. Facebook, it's like an avalanche. It's tumbling and rumbling and bumbling downhill. 18.2 billion he lost yesterday.
I think that they revised it to like 16.8 was the last. Yeah, just a few extra nickel or a few less nickels there.
What's
so,
a
yeah.
few billy of Bunk's friends? Am I right?
So yeah, 16.8 was the latest figure I saw that he lost in the space of about an hour. And so this was after the markets closed. They announced earnings and or not earnings, but their well, I guess it wasn't earnings.
No, it's their guidance.
Sorry, yeah. So they basically their subscribership was flat. They are getting hammered over in Europe with all the privacy policy stuff. They're losing advertisers, so their stock just went a nosedive, lost nearly 20% after hours yesterday. So, and then that's where the loss of money came in, almost 17 billion in the 1 hour, roughly, of after hours trading.
Well, and Zuckerberg, I mean, he's been under fire the last week. I mean, I wasn't on last week, but we've got train time,
Yeah,
everyone.
train.
So give us one quick break here. We've
Amtrak.
got Amtrak.
Amtrak.
Wave. 2 minute 2. Hi, everyone. You're on podcast.
At least it was a short train,
Yeah,
not a big
exactly.
freight one that has 800 cars.
No, but I mean, last week I saw the story come out about how he basically thought that he almost should be fired for everything that has gone down with the privacy stuff, and we're finding out more and more just how deep the privacy issues with Facebook are,
Yep.
and how the disregard that they have for our own privacy, or
Yeah.
for our privacy,
Right, yeah.
not theirs. I'm sure that their stuff is locked up. They've got it behind some iron vaults, but they.
Get big.
I mean, and what do we see? What's the prognosis? Is it going to continue to fall, do we think?
I don't know. It depends on now that it's taken this big tumble. Are people going to look at it as a bargain and come back in and try to buy it on the cheap, on a discount, so to speak?
I would imagine.
Yeah.
Because there was probably some short covering going on when they were selling in the sell-off, because people obviously didn't see that coming. I mean, when you sent that to me yesterday, I believe it was.
Yeah.
I mean, I was like, holy moly!
Yeah.
What
That's
the heck
big
happened?
stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, it was really big stuff. So that's well, we're going to continue to follow up on that one, because we love to watch good old Marky Mark squirm and fry and all that stuff. And I gotta believe that they're going to haul his ass back up in front of Congress.
Get the
pretty
booster
soon.
seat out.
every time you say that, it brings the biggest smile to my face, because when we looked at that, I don't think we were on air when we looked at that the first time, but just seeing that little thing under there, it just makes you want to crack up like Eddie in Delirious.
Yep.
Just like, that is just the best thing ever. So, we'll see him there squirming about and being really just uncomfortable.
Yeah.
So just like we're uncomfortable with having all of our shit sold to some crazy in the Eastern Bloc. So, well, right now it is time for Hojo's Hot Take. 1, 2, 3, go. And we are back. 3140 is our number there. If you can, will you write that down?
You got it.
It is time for the freestyle.
Oh, Michael Buffer.
No, I won't get into that. I won't do that to everyone. But you ready to jump off?
Yeah.
You got some fun ones. I've been writing some notes, and
I got some fun ones.
Yeah,
I got a couple fun ones.
Lay it on me.
All right.
You go. We're gonna do the same thing. Go
alternate. Yeah.
Alternate. Okay.
So my couple fun ones consist of top 3 lists. So we'll have some fun with listing.
Okay.
All right. So my first one is your top 3 cuts of beef, of steak.
Okay. I will give you that. That one is a good one.
No.
Well, first and foremost,
It's like a plate pin.
bone-in ribeye.
You have a big one.
That's the number 1 cut of meat. That is the Lamborghini, the McLaren, and the Bugatti all rolled into one. Prime grade,
Put it
bone-in ribeye,
between our living
16 to 18 ounces. Don't want it too big, because that means the cow got too big,
Yeah.
and that means the cow got to walk longer, unless it was Wagyu or Kobe, and they had them up
Massaging.
there with sensual massage on the cow. But no, I'm gonna go numero uno, bone-in ribeye. You want to go back and forth? Or you want me to list all 3?
No, I'll go back and forth.
Okay.
My number 1 is kind of a hybrid-ish of the ribeye. I like the New York.
So this
That's
has
not a hybrid. Though.
But it gets you like not hybrid, but I'm saying like best of both worlds. You get a little bit of marbling like you do a ribeye, and then you get a lot of meatiness. Because I like ribeye, but there's a lot of fat
Yes,
running
there
through
is.
it.
There's
So
a nice big fat cap that runs
Yeah,
through it.
fat.
And I'm an anti-fat guy.
yeah,
Can't eat it.
yeah.
when you open it out.
What about T-bones? It sounds like you're almost a T-bone guy.
No,
you
I'm
like
not,
the
as a matter of
tenderloin? You don't?
No. I mean I like that leads into my number 2. I would say fillet, but
Because that's part of the T-bone.
right. But actual old school T-bone on the plate.
Yeah,
nah.
Really?
Yeah.
Because I think that's actually technically what it is. One
Yeah.
side of it is the New York strip, and the other side is the fillet.
And my wife will, if she's watching right now, she'll make fun of me to no end. Is that the reason I don't go for that kind of stuff is I don't want the work of cutting around the bone. I want a slab of meat on the plate that I can just eat.
Okay.
I don't want to waste time with the knife, carving it up, dissecting it like I'm in the science lab. I want to be able to eat my steak.
Well, then this is what I'm going to tell you. Buy prime grade, then you can cut it with a fork.
Yeah.
Bang.
Yeah.
I will say, we went to Urban Farmer last year for a buddy's bachelor party, and I had a bone-in ribeye there. It was fork-worthy.
Yeah.
It was amazing.
That's my kind of deal.
Yep. No, I can't believe you though that you would forego the fork and knife and not wanting to work for the highest quality meat. I'll give you the fat. Whoops, sorry, kids. I'll give you the fat because I am completely anti-fat, and like in the ribeye, gotta cut it out completely.
Yeah.
Like that nice ridge of it.
Yeah.
It's great for flavor.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
Now Brandon, our son, he just takes it
everything.
off our plate. Oh, he is an incinerator. He just put it in, it's gone. It's amazing, and he loves the fat. He's cutting it all off the side. I've got it all. I'm like, I'm pawing the fork like here and whittling away at my steak. Did I ever tell you the story? Oh no, go ahead.
I was gonna say but my thing with like T-bone is that then I feel like I'm paying like half the money I paid. I'm throwing in the garbage can
Because of the bone?
Yeah.
No, you got to have the bone though. That's where the flavors
And
are.
I know, but I'm like, I'd rather go with like a fat cap on there to give it some flavor as opposed to the bone. Where I don't know, it's just
The marrow though.
I
You
know.
don't do marrow? I'm not.
no,
big,
yeah.
I'm not-
I've had marrow before, like
Yeah.
But I don't know. It's just to me, I just want a nice clean piece of meat so I can just slice it and just shovel it in.
Okay,
No finessing.
No finessing. I'm going to tell you a quick story about steak and me pawing it like that. We went to high school with Sue Sampson, Went to dinner at her house when I was probably 16. I was driving, so she invited me over with her folks and her sister. And so I'm sitting there, and I'm nervous because, you know, I'm a boy at a girl's house, and I only got one hand, and I'm trying to paw the knife with my left hand. And so I do that, and I'm whittling away at this sumbitch. All of a sudden, I take it off my chest, and I'm doing the hold the fork thing and knife. And as I'm pushing down, it goes firing off the plate through my peas and ends up on the table with the fork still stuck in the sumbitch. Plate meat just like ollied off my plate.
Like ski
Bam!
jump.
Oh yeah, total ski jump. And I was like, "What do you do?" It's like the time I spit on my prom date on accident. I blew soda pop all over because Martell made me laugh, and I'm like, "Pfft." And I was like, "No, I didn't just spray it all over my prom date, but I did in reality. It was terrible." But back to the steak. Okay, so you're a steak purist, I can tell. Salt and pepper. Is that it?
I like Montreal.
You go Montreal.
Montreal.
Okay.
Yeah.
Garlic?
No, I'm pretty good
Have
with.
you tried it though? Fresh garlic.
If I'm gonna do it in a pan, like it's supposed to grill. If I'm gonna do like cast iron, sear it in a pan. I like doing it with butter and like a sprig of rosemary tucked in there. Yeah, that kind of deal. But if I'm gonna grill it, I just go Montreal. I'm cool with just Montreal.
I'll just try this salt, pepper, and fresh minced garlic.
Okay.
That you use the garlic press thing for, not the the stuff you buy at the store or something.
Yeah.
Do that and then push it in, massage it in there, and the folks on TV just saw me making waves with my hands, but no, do that, and it is awesome.
Okay.
But you go horseradish.
If it's around, I like horseradish. I just don't ever think to have it on hand per se. We have some on hand. I just don't think about it. But
Yeah,
I don't have anything against it.
Okay, well let's lead into number 2 here, and I will say that my next favorite is going to be prime rib.
Prime, yeah.
Yep,
There
I
you're
think
going.
you and I agree with that. Now, when I go prime rib, it is, again, I'm looking for the probably 14 to 18 ounce size. Obviously no bone because it's been cut off of it. But if I have the opportunity to chew on that, like if here's the bone, I will absolutely take that. But then I go salt, just around it, and then au jus with creamy horseradish. Not horseradish that makes me, fire snot rockets.
Oh yeah, just like streaming down your face.
No, my
yeah.
dad was like that. He loved that. He would just be like sweating and like he was in work to get through that thing. He just loved every minute of it. So what are you going number 2?
Well, number 2 was filet. I kind of cheated on that.
You went?
But yeah, I'd say filet number 2 for me.
Filet number 2. Okay. Yeah. Actually,
Although it's
I
close
remember
with my
seeing-
number 3. It's kind of neck and neck.
Okay, you go jump off the number
With 3, I like flank steak. Yeah.
Amen to
There
that.
we go.
Hell yes.
Yeah, it's just awesome just to get a quick sear on both sides, and it's nice and raw in the center still. Man,
And obviously fajitas, that kind of stuff. That's, the cream of the crop. We
That's
got
just
flank
dynamite.
steak and we got skirt
Skirt,
steak.
yep.
Yes. And I will put both of those on the same level in my opinion. I think that flank is probably a little bit better because it's thicker.
that's exactly what I was going to say.
That's
yep.
what I like about it. But skirt is amazing as well. Are you looking at just like a Mexican application for that, or are you looking for...
We just eat it straight up a lot of times too,
Do you really?
as like a regular steak. Yeah.
See, we don't do that. We, in fact, I don't think I've ever made flank, as I look over at Kim to get verification for this, but I don't think I've ever made flank other than marinated for like street tacos or something of that nature. But it's got to go, obviously all of these are medium rare.
Oh yeah.
But I'm going to have to say, I'm not going to go brisket, I'm going to go tri-tip.
Oh yeah.
Numero 3.
Yeah, I forgot about that. It's a good call.
We actually did tri-tip last week. Yeah, we did a tri-tip. It was a 3.5 pound tri-tip. It was a honker. In fact, I put a post up on the Instagram because it looked like Africa. It was a continent size, or not sized, but shaped tri-tip. But it's a very, very versatile cut of meat because you can smoke it for a little bit. Kim's not big into smoked like steak and things of that nature, but and neither am I. Like hamburgers, you don't smoke hamburgers, you don't smoke steaks. It's all high heat. But with tri-tip, what I'll do, throw it on high heat, drop it down, like 30 minutes, maybe 45. Not a lot. We're going cherry, and then
Yeah.
ramp it back up to really get those juices flowing.
Yeah.
And then take it off like usual and let it rest and whatnot. So that's I think that we've got some damn good cuts of
Yeah.
meat between the two.
Getting hungry now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What the hell? Where's barbecue? 2.5 billion pounds. We
Oh,
got
yeah, that's right.
laying around.
Yeah.
Come on, hook it
Gotta
right
make
up.
use of it.
Okay, so for me, I'm going with a chop as well because I didn't do that last time and you kind of roughed me up. Top 3 sandwiches.
You want me to go first?
Oh, of course I do.
Well, I alluded to this in the before we went on air. Is that place called Carnegie Deli?
Yes.
And
Adam Sandler memorialized it in the
Yeah.
Hanukkah song.
so they have a sandwich called the Woody Allen. Not that I'm a fan of Woody Allen, but that's what it's named after. And it's literally, I've got pictures on my Facebook page from the last time I went there. You got 2 slices of bread,
8 pounds of meat.
a little bit of like the Thousand Island kind of deal.
Oh, okay. I thought it was like a stone grill mustard.
No, not on this particular one. But literally, probably 8 to 10 inches of thinly sliced meat, and it's half corned beef, half pastrami, mixed
okay.
together.
Right.
It's so awesome. It is incredible.
Yeah. I haven't had that. I've seen it on the Food Network. Because they've got one in Vegas, and I think that. I mean, obviously the first one.
The
was
original's in Manhattan.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
But they've got that big one in Vegas.
Yep.
And so I've seen them. I mean, they are incredible. They're a 4-person sandwich.
Yeah, and I was telling you before we went on is that it's like $20 for a sandwich. You think, oh my God, $20, that's expensive, but it can easily feed 2 people or you for 2 meals. I mean, it's $20 is well worth it.
Well, when you think of a pulled pork sandwich or a brisket sandwich, when we were at Matt's Barbecue, I think they were $12.
Yeah.
Something like that.
Yeah,
So,
but
and
you know,
it has nothing to do with Matt, and that his stuff is amazing. But that $20 for that sandwich, it really you can't get it in your mouth. I mean,
Oh, yeah,
you
no
have
way.
to
No way.
dissect it or
Yep.
disassemble
I just have to
it.
like split it in half and eat it like 2 open face sandwiches.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
So I'm going to go. Actually, we were talking about it beforehand. Kim was talking about it. The fact that I have, in the last year, I would say, honey, maybe 2, I have become an absolute Reuben junkie. I mean, it's kind of an issue because we have the rule in our house that on Friday nights we don't cook, except for Reuben's.
Carve out that exception.
In the many years that we have had the Slater rule of we don't cook on Friday nights, that's the only thing that we will allow. Because for some reason on a Friday night, going and getting some wonderful pastrami, nothing fancy or anything, let's go to Freddy's or Safeway or whatever, and then even on gluten-free bread. And I don't like rye, actually. I've never been a fan of rye
interesting.
bread. Kim loves it, but I have never been a fan of it. And so, hit the pastrami, high heat. Gotta have, now, Kim makes the world's best Thousand Island dressing. I'm not going to give away the recipe. That's relish, ketchup, and mayonnaise. It's all in the proportions. You'll never figure it out. Trust me. But no, and then the key to it though, ice cold sauerkraut.
Yeah.
Are you a kraut guy?
Oh yeah.
Gobs of it.
Yeah.
But it's got to be cold because I want that crunch because you've got the Swiss cheese, you've got the bread, and it all kinds of gets a little mushy. But when you get, I can taste it. My mouth is watering right now as we speak. What's your number 2?
Number 2, I'd go the old Philly cheesesteak.
Philadelphia.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just
Have you ever
speaks America to me. Steak on bread. It's like
right?
How can you go
and
wrong?
Cheese.
Yeah.
And then some more cheese.
Yeah.
Some peppers. No, okay, so how do you take your Philadelphia?
The old cheese with.
You go whiz. You're a whiz man.
Yeah, I'm cool with whatever, but definitely need the onions on there.
Yeah. Okay, that's what I'm asking. You going
yeah.
onions, peppers, and mushrooms?
Oh yeah, all
The
the above.
trifecta?
Yeah, load it
Okay.
up.
Me too. But this is the big thing that separates most Philly cheesesteak folks. Are you going with the whiz, or are you going with provolone?
Provolone. I like them both. I don't mind. I don't know. I wouldn't say I have a favorite one way or the other. I like them both.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now see, I have not. Have you been back east to Pat's? Or
Not
Chino's?
the real ones. No.
Or Tony Luke's. That's the other big one. I'm gluten free, and I would probably actually break my gluten freeness and deal with the blimp-esque bags under my eyes after I ate that, because that's exactly what it would look like, is me walking around with two buoys under my my eyes. But I think that the whiz would be good for a one-off, but I think the provolone, it's like nachos for me. I like nachos with the squeaky cheese, or the cheese sauce that could last with the Twinkies through a nuclear blast.
Loaded with preservatives.
Yes,
Yeah.
but the provolone on there with the veggies, so good. And it's the roll though.
Oh, yeah.
Back before I went gluten-free, getting that just wonderful, chewy, but on the outside has some I don't know, not crisp or anything like that.
But like on the
just-
inside, because they hit it on the flat top, you open it up and
exactly.
Yeah.
Oh, it's just
Yeah.
wonderful. That is awesome. So you guys gave me your number
Number
two.
two with
My
Philly.
number three, or excuse me, my number two. I'm gonna go with this sandwich that that one's, I wouldn't even consider it a sandwich. It's more of a meal. I'm gonna go club.
Yeah, see, that was three for me.
Number three
Yeah,
for you?
Yeah.
Ah, no, you gotta go good, ultra thin sliced turkey. Then you go ham, and then the bacon.
Oh,
Now, do you go double decker, or are you a one decker man?
I like double decker.
Yeah.
If I've got the means to assemble that.
Yep.
Yeah.
And you got to have toasted bread.
Yeah.
That's what puts it over the top, because that crunchiness again is. I'm a big texture guy, as you can probably tell when it comes to food. That's why I don't like tomatoes. It's weird. I know.
Oh, wow. You're missing
But-
out.
No, I eat them in everything.
I'm just teasing you.
No, I mean, save for just putting a tomato in front of me. No, I won't eat that. But salsa, anything else? Oh yeah, all day long. But no, I think that the club would be my number two. What's your number three?
So number three would be club, but I'll also
Decent.
throw a little offshoot. Is that what I also like along the lines of the turkey is do the turkey with cranberry.
I can't do it.
Yeah?
Total bullshit. You lost all credibility. Anyone
like-
that you're, oh my.
I like
Okay.
the savory
I had
and
so
the
much
sweet
respect
tart.
for that.
The savory and then the contrast with the little sweet tart cranberry on there. I'm not saying like as an everyday, but holiday-ish. You know, it's Thanksgiving time. That's kind of a natural
There's
progression.
only one way. No, the only natural progression for cranberries on Thanksgiving is from the table to the garbage.
Garbage can.
Yeah,
But-
direct.
well, no, I'm not talking like you dump it out of a can,
I
but
know.
like the homemade, like legit cranberry stuff
I've
where you
never
stew
had
down
those.
the fresh frozen cranberries and make your own sauce out of it. Not like the gelatinous goo that you dump out of the
Okay,
can.
let me get this straight. You won't cut around a bone in a steak, but you'll make cranberry preserves over 3 hours.
Well, my wife
Your
makes
wife.
it. Yeah,
Oh,
yeah.
okay. So now we really cut to the chase and we figure out what's going on.
Yeah.
No, I'm just not big on cranberries. I like cranberry juice
Yep.
or vodka and a lime. No, I'll eat a little bit. No, I've never been big on the cranberry on the turkey sandwich. For me, and this harkens back to my dad. He taught me this many years ago. White bread, just straight up Wonder Bread, Franz, whatever. Best foods, mayonnaise. Okay. Turkey, white meat, not dark. I'm a dark chicken guy. Don't like dark
Oh,
turkey.
interesting.
Salt, pepper. Done. Walk off. Now, if my wife's there, she's going to yell at me to put lettuce on. I take it off. It's Thanksgiving, dang it. No, I think, that's a good one, though. I can get behind it. I guess I got to try it again.
Yeah.
And with this wonderful cranberry sauce that you're talking about, I would give that a shot.
Some orange zest in there.
Well, you got
Yeah.
to mix it up, and that gives it that kind of makes it feel like you're at one of those things though, a bazaar at Christmas
Yeah.
time, because everything smells like
Yeah.
orange zest and allspice.
Those mold spices going on. Yeah.
Mold or old?
Mold, yeah.
Okay.
It could be old.
Yeah, well then, yeah, exactly. So
Consolation prize, maybe my number 4-ish. Now we're going off script here, but I just
this
had to
is
throw
all scripted.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, I had to throw this out there because this will make my wife cringe. Is that I usually just do this to make her mad, make these sandwiches to make her mad, like it as a late night snack. It's cheese and onion.
I just threw it in my mouth.
So a nice thick slice of like Tillamook sharp cheddar, and a thick slice of a sweet onion, like Walla Walla if you're in season, or Vidalia, or some other sweet onion, and that's it.
Just those two things on bread. No sauce, nothing.
Maybe, but I mean, no, I'll just eat it plain, dry bread. Just
Yeah, thank you, honey. Kim is validating everyone that's watching and listening's thought, which is like, you know what it sounds like, or it reminds me of? I'm visualizing Dr. Seuss and the green eggs and ham and how they had all the stinky stuff coming off of it. That's what it reminds me of.
oh man.
And I'm sure the aftermath cannot be welcome.
That's probably why she doesn't like it, but
Exactly.
man, the flavor. Because I'm a.
How did you discover that?
I was bored, probably. I don't know, but
Like,
well, it's like the two
I'm gonna
things.
try sardines and mayo
Well,
today.
it's two ingredients that I love. I love onions,
Oh, yeah.
and I love cheddar cheese. So it's like a natural marriage, you know. Throw it on some bread, see what
Okay.
happens.
Yeah, I can't. I don't think I'm gonna try that one.
Oh man,
So for me, number 3, I'm gonna go with probably pulled pork.
yeah.
If I make it, pulled pork with the coleslaw, barbecue sauce. That is one. Now it's not something that I want to have a lot of, because it is. But when I haven't had one in quite some time, I would really enjoy having one of those right now. Just juicy, and you got salt all over your face, and this white shirt would not be
Yeah,
white.
not so much.
This is not the type of shirt I should wear.
Going off on a tangent, speaking of like pork and barbecue-ish stuff, I tried an experiment for the first time this last weekend. It turned out really nicely, I think. Mac and cheese on the smoker.
There you go.
Oh man,
So good.
dynamite.
Absolutely.
Dynamite. Got it all done up just so it was all homogenized and ready to go, and then dumped it into a foil pan, slid it in there like 45 minutes with some hickory.
Very
Just enough
nice.
to get the little brownish, cast on the top, and then pull it out and stir it all up. Oh man,
It's phenomenal. One time, Kim and I had a macaroni and cheese competition, and we were making it from scratch. And the winners in these competitions between Kim and I is our boys, because they get to eat it all.
Yeah.
They're like, yeah, Mom, Dad, you guys can't beat each other. Make all of it.
keep doing
It's
it.
like, yeah, dang it. Oh, hey, Andy and Casey, thank you very much for the shout out on the shirts. No, I love mac and cheese. Are you big time on the original cheddar, or you go Colby? What do you do?
You know what I do is a little hybrid. I do Tillamook cheddar again, because we always have that on hand.
You gotta go creamy.
Condensed cheddar cheese soup.
Okay. Yes. In
I
fact,
hit it with a couple of cans of that and some milk to kind of dilute it a little bit to make it more pliable. But yeah,
rare.
we don't have it. Yes, I like that. We don't seem to have it on hand that much. So just as a standby for me, I just hit it with cheddar, the cheddar cheese soup, and some milk and sour cream. That gets the creaminess
Gotta have
factor
sour
going.
cream.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, do you go with the? Some people are big on nutmeg.
No, the recipe that I stole this from, that I've been using forever, calls for nutmeg. No. I did it the first time. I'm like, nope, I'm out.
Yeah.
So yeah, no, never again.
I can't do it either. I know it adds that unique flavor. I just am not. I can't get behind it.
No.
It's not something I enjoy, but I do enjoy a good smoke. But you're exactly right. You can't go too hard on it, because that cheese and the macaroni will accept that smoke, and it will become pungent.
And I did go a little too hard on it, so next time I would back off a little bit. It was right at the point, like if I had gone any more, it would have been like, whoo. It was getting to that point, so now lesson learned, I'll back off a little next time, but it was still good. And you know what I did the next day?
Sandwich?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah. Scoop that stuff right on it. We got some leftover
Did you
po' boy
panini it?
rolls. No, I did not.
You got a panini there.
Okay.
Now,
Yeah,
did
next
you
time.
do you go ham or bacon in it?
No,
In
just
your mac and cheese?
Uh-uh.
I gotta tell you got to go out to our favorite restaurant in Vancouver. It's called DuckTales. You're very familiar. They do, is it bacon or ham? Ham.
Okay.
It is awesome, but they just cube up some ham, or bacon is fun too, as long as it's not too crispy, in my opinion. It's one of those that if you get the crispy side, when you bake it, it gets even more crispy.
Yes.
So, and then there's people though that will make the mac and cheese and they don't bake it, and that's kind of weird to me. I mean, I'm not talking Kraft macaroni,
Right.
which is another thing. So, I went favorite sandwiches, so it's your turn.
My turn. My other freestyle topic.
Or did we? We did all 3 sandwiches, didn't we?
Yeah.
We did 3. Yeah, what's your other?
This will be the point of contention again with us. I
There we
think.
go.
The top 3 movies. And you can't say like the Star Wars franchise.
No.
You can't. You got a movie.
Okay.
1, 2, and 3.
This is. Let's set the ground rules here. The top 3 movies you would take to an island for the rest of your life.
Yeah, something that you just watch over and over again.
Only 3 movies.
Yeah.
Okay. You want me to start, or you want?
Go ahead.
I will say, number 1 movie of all time. Let's see if my wife will guess. Honey, what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, Step Brothers.
Huh?
Step Brothers.
You're close. Old school.
Oh wow, yeah. It's so hard because like all those that would easily be top 10 material, but trying to hone it down to top 3, and that's a tough call.
It's very tough.
Yeah.
But I think about these things.
Yeah.
Okay, what's number 1 for you?
You probably know what it is. 80s. Back to the Future.
Pretty in Pink.
I do. What'd you say, hon?
Pretty in Pink.
Oh
Yes!
yeah, no. Oh yeah.
He's always pretty in pink. Look at his
Brat,
face.
The Brat Pack movies, yeah. Yeah. No, but Back to the Future.
Back to the Future.
That was like my favorite as a kid growing up, and then it's maintained. It's been my favorite ever since. I could watch that movie like pretty much every day.
Yeah, no, I
Yeah.
mean, it was a good movie, and I really enjoyed it. I don't think I enjoyed it quite as much as you. But no, I think that Back to the Future was, and for us, growing up, because Michael J. Fox was right around our age. He was a little bit older, but that black Toyota.
Oh yeah.
Oh man, was that the coolest truck
Yes.
you've ever seen or what?
Absolutely.
I mean, it was, you knew that if you got to roll it, and now you look at it, and because it was like a monster truck.
Yep.
I don't know what it was, but because it was on TV or the big screen, or it'd be like, oh, it's huge, it's the coolest truck I've ever seen in my life. And Marty McFly was, when he did the scene at the end, he was really cool.
Yep.
Okay, so now I got to go number
Number
2.
two.
I am going to go with Step Brothers for number 2. Because I think stem to stern, comedy-wise, that may be the number 1 comedy of all time.
Yeah.
Funny-wise. And I'm a big comedian, or I'm not a big comedian. What are you laughing at, honey? We've got a peanut gallery here of 1, and they're laughing at me, and I'm married to it. No, I think that the writing in that movie was so unbelievable and so underappreciated. What do you think? Where would that rank on your top 4,000?
I would say maybe between 5 and 10 somewhere. Definitely top 10.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
But yeah, I don't know if I could put it top 5.
Okay.
Don't know if I could. The top 10, yeah.
Okay. Well, what's your
So
number of those?
number 2, going more of a thing that just makes you think, a movie that just like messes with you, that my wife and I like watching over and over again. It's just the visual appeal, just the
Wild Things?
the level, the storytelling, the layers of the story is just nuts. Is Inception.
That was what I was actually going to say. The other part of it. I think I've seen it. I can't remember though. I don't think so.
We saw it in Cinetopia when it first came out way back when, and that was the experience because you felt everything. Like the theater throughout the whole movie is just shaking. Like when they got the avalanche scene, you're like vibrating in your seat with the avalanche coming down. It's like you were in DiCaprio.
Okay.
It's like you were in Joseph Gordon-Levitt, and I'm trying to think who else is in there.
We're going to have to watch that.
Yeah. We've got it on DVD. I can give it to you. But
I got it on DVD, beta.
But even though you can't get the movie theater experience at home, it's still for the plot twists and turns, and you don't know what's what, and it's one of the ones that you literally have to watch at least 2 times to even start to get a handle on what's going on. Because after watching it one time, you're like, wow, I missed some stuff.
Really?
Yeah, there's a lot of unanswered questions. So it's a really cool movie.
I gotta think about that. I gotta watch it again because I actually, for some reason, I think that I've seen it, but I don't remember it. So I gotta give you my number 3 now.
Oh, did you go 2?
Yeah, I did.
Step Brothers. Yeah,
Step
that's
Brothers.
right.
Now, I'm not looking at these movies as like Schindler's List. I mean, those are exceptional movies, and we're talking about like what I'm going to go entertainment-wise to an island. Okay, I'm not going to take, like I said, Schindler's List or something
Right.
like that. That is a series, wonderful, amazing movie, or No Country for Old Men or something.
Yeah.
It's not entertaining.
Right.
Like, hey, that's uplifting. I think number 3, this is very tough, but I'm going to say Tombstone.
Oh, interesting.
I know Kim thought I was going to say Dumb and Dumber, and she hates that movie.
Oh, no.
It is cinematic masterpiece.
It's like Tia with Superbad. I could watch Superbad
Oh, well,
every
that's
day.
what Anya
And-
Casey.
Oh, Cassie. Yeah.
Sorry, Cassie.
Yep.
Whoa,
Superbad.
Todd Taylor with Caddyshack. That's
Yeah.
a really good one.
Yeah, and Labyrinth. See all
Yeah,
this stuff. All
Labyrinth.
this is like top 10 material right here. It's so hard to pick a top 3. But
What's your 3 then?
number 3, I'll go with throw a comedy one in there to lighten it up. Is Stripes.
There you go.
Love me
I
some
love
Stripes.
And my dad, if he was watching, Pat would be right up there with you. It was one of the first funny movies, and he'll say Slapshot as well. Some of his top comedy movies, but that was his. That was a long time ago. So that was up his alley. But he loved Stripes and Slapshot.
Yeah.
So those are good movies.
Yep.
Both that one. So I think it's my turn.
Yep.
You want to do just one more?
Yeah, because I don't have a third one. So yeah, let's roll with yours. Yeah.
Well, this one's going to be kind of a shot at myself.
Ooh.
At what age is a guy too old to wear his hat backwards? Now, I know all the guys that are sitting in there right now know, and people watching, that I love to wear my hat backwards.
17.
Yeah. GFY. 17, huh? Honest to goodness?
No, I don't know. I mean, if it works for you, if it's, I don't have a preference one way or the other. So
Are you a backwards hat guy?
every once in a while, not religiously.
No. Well, no, I didn't think you were wearing it to church.
Yeah, exactly.
But
You're just
Really?
trying to live vicariously through
No.
Ken Griffey Jr.
yes,
Going old
you,
dude.
yeah, me and the kid. No, I don't know why. I've always liked my hat backwards, but I think the number one reason I like my hat backwards is because my wife likes my hat backwards. Is look at the smile on her face. As much as she hates Dumb and Dumber, she likes me wearing my hat backwards. So I like to wear my hat backwards a lot because my wife likes it, and so when my wife is happy, I'm happy.
See, I like
what she
I
told
like
me
hats
anyway.
for the glare protection, which
Oh, yeah.
mean you got to
You
kind of
need
have to
a
wear
lot
it
of it.
forward. Yeah,
With that melon.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
No,
large
it's-
circumference. Yeah.
What size hat do you wear? 8.5?
Ocho, no, just straight up
Just
Ocho.
straight up Ocho?
Yeah,
ESPN the Ocho.
that's right.
I love it. No, I dig hats. In fact, when I had the hat made yesterday, I had big letters, Kinetic podcast or Productions, put on the back because that's the way I'm going to wear it most of the time is
Yeah.
backwards. So, well, that's good fun freestyle.
Yeah.
We're going to be back to our normal schedule now. We'll be dropping Tuesdays, Fridays. We're going to wrap things up here. We've got some, like I said, we're going to go over some stuff we do have coming up. We've got Camas Days Parade this Saturday, the 28th. 2 weeks from Saturday, we're going to be down at the beach recording.
Yes.
So we're going to have a beach broadcast. We have, what else do we have coming up? We've got the stuff that we're going to do with Hojo, with Holly.
Yeah.
That will be in September, I believe the 8th.
I think
It's
that sounds
tonight.
about right. It's
And we're-
right after Labor Day.
We're firming that stuff up yet. What else?
Well, I was gonna say maybe we can squeeze in a week from now into next week. Go to Sonic.
Oh yeah,
The pickle
yeah.
juice slush taste
So
test.
Wes wants to do this. What is it? A pickle juice slushy?
slush.
He wants to do a taste test on that. So we're gonna do a taste test on that.
Like the
for you
dudes
guys.
in the Sonic commercial,
Yeah.
we'll roll up in the car in the front seat. We'll have the phone dash cam set up there.
Yes.
We'll order it and we'll take a taste test.
Yeah, I think that'll be great. And Holly also wanted us to do
the one chip challenge?
The one chip challenge, and she sent them to us.
Yeah.
Because we're actually here this weekend at the Camas Days. We're going to hand out signed copies of "I Want Everyone to Like Me," or "Everybody to Like Me." Excuse me. So I believe that's when we're going to hand. Yeah, we're handing those out this Saturday. We're also going to have the new T-shirts we're going to be passing out. We're going to be passing out candy. I know I had kind of talked about and possibly promised the recliner in the back of the diesel. After thinking it over, probably not a good idea.
Maybe
to-
some OSHA regulations
yeah,
violated.
OSHA, hip braking, people falling out of a truck that's 4.5, 5 feet off the ground, something like that. So I'm sorry, folks, we didn't run that little contest, but that's just because I'm trying to not have people die.
Limit the
on our
liability.
watch.
Yeah,
Yeah,
smart
exactly.
call.
So, yeah, no, other cool stuff coming down the pike. Look for we'll be firming up cooking show, just more fun stuff. And I want to, again, thank Doomsday for hosting us here. It's been awesome. Go to their website, doomsdaybrewing.com, and then, but their big place that you can go is their Facebook page. It's just Doomsday Brewery Company, and after talking to Amanda, I believe she's co-owner, she said that all of their upcoming events, anything that you want to know about them, go there and they'll have it for you. So again, thank you so much, Doomsday, for hosting us. Do you have anything else?
I got nothing. I think it's time for a refill.
I think it is time for another refill. Well, with that, this has been Kinetic Chaos Podcast number 34. Thank you, everyone sitting inside in the ice cold air conditioning for toughing it out with us, or toughing it out with us. Yeah, that's what I said. So with that, we bid you adieu. We will see you next week.
All right, see you next week.
We go. Woohoo!
All right, there's the feed.
Yeah, hey, everyone. Thank you guys very much for watching. I almost forgot you were there. Come see us Saturday. Camas Days Parade, right downtown Camas. Cool stuff. Thank you very much for watching.
See ya.
down.